Well, we've certainly been talking a lot about wind farms recently, and on the back of actually the one we played the other day with Friends of the Earth, I've been contacted here by Michael. You're in the business of energy, I understand.
Yeah.
You've got your views.
Yeah, we're building services consultants, but we've also got an energy component to that business, where we help clients determine what energy efficiency measure is right for them. So we're mainly concerned with domestic scale projects and commercial and industrial, but our interest also extends to the wider side of how the Isle of Man procures its energy for the future.
Okay, well, Friends of the Earth say they are keen on onshore. Is that what's upsetting you, or are you enjoying this fact? I mean,
Well, I've been interested in the controversy for a number of years now. What prompted me to drill down deeper into the figures, really, was a public meeting held at Ballaugh several years ago, where there was a very controversial meeting held there with polarised views, both sides. Some people wanted wind farms, some people were diametrically opposed to it. And I set myself the task of finding out the facts. And the cost model that we've developed as a company demonstrates that a wind farm on the Isle of Man would not show a net economic benefit until the year 2035. That's based on a certain number of assumptions, such as what price the MEA pay for their natural gas and what the projected increase in the natural gas is going to be. But based on a 4% per annum increase in the price of wholesale natural gas, the Isle of Man would have to wait until the year 2035 before it became a net economic benefit based on a £30 million capital cost wind farm.
So it's the payback time you're talking about?
Absolutely. When we go to customers and propose a certain energy efficiency measure, like house insulation, cavity fill, a wind turbine, or a solar panel array, invariably the first question that we get asked is, how much does it cost, how much does it save us, and when do we get the payback? So we've looked at the Isle of Man wind farm proposal with exactly the same criteria, and those are the results that we've come up with.
So are you saying no to wind farms until 2030 then?
It's got to be viewed initially, primarily, on what it's going to do for the Isle of Man economy. And with the economy as it is, it's looking very powerless in terms of how much it can save. In other words, until 2035, it's going to be a net economic liability. It's not going to be a benefit until after that time.
But this goes for anywhere that's doing these wind farms, surely at the moment. They're doing it because they have signed up to more green energy. I mean, the Isle of Man, we keep going on about this 15% by 2015, which doesn't necessarily look likely from some views. What do you think? Is it going to happen?
I hope it doesn't, because of the way the economics are on the Isle of Man at the moment. We just can't afford it. Now, in terms of the other argument with regards to carbon savings, it does save a small amount of carbon. There's no question about that. I'm completely in favour of the argument of climate change. I know it's happening, and I know that we need to do something about it. But wind farms is not the way to go. It saves a very small amount of carbon compared to, say, replacing someone's boiler for a new high efficiency, increased efficiency boiler, or putting home insulation in, or cavity fill. These measures save a lot more carbon in comparison.
Doesn't it just come under the doing the right thing sort of label here, to be seen to be trying to help the environment, if nothing else?
I don't think we can afford to be seen to be doing it for that purpose. It needs to be looked at in the cold light of day, purely rationally, and how much it's going to cost us. And I simply don't think, with the economy as it is at the moment, especially on the Isle of Man, it's something that we can afford. For example, one of the government reports that's been put into the public domain shows that we'd all have to be expected to pay 1 pence per kilowatt hour extra on our electricity bills. Well, that might be affordable possibly for a small householder who's probably going to pay about £40 extra on their annual energy bills. But for a big energy user, of which there are several on the Isle of Man, it could represent up to £60,000 additional costs on their annual energy bills. And I simply don't think with the effect on competitiveness, it's something that we can afford to do.